Well, good morning or afternoon or evening, folks. I'm glad you're watching this video. I've been getting some requests to go back to Russia and do some more auditing and training, and so I was requested to make this video to give people an idea of what I might do and what it was all about. I made another video. It was about the happiness rundown. That's one of the things that I want to do. This is a super good rundown. It produces a lot of case gain for both the PC and the auditor. It goes very quick. It's a very powerful rundown and far undervalued. So I got to talking about that, and first thing you know, I had a whole hour of video just on the happiness rundown. I didn't really talk about much of anything else. So this video is going to be somewhat shorter, and what I'm going to try to do is tell you some of the things that I might do or that I would like to do. Possibly you might be interested in some of these things. Hopefully that there'll be a lot of people interested in these things. Of course, people are people. Some people want to contribute, some want to pay and learn and get up the bridge, and some want everything done for them. So this is mostly for people that would be interested in doing something about their life, want to improve their life, want to change their life. And I've been in Scientology for a long time, 30 years. I've been auditing for 30 years. And I've picked up a couple things during that time. The most important thing that I've picked up out of all of this is that Scientology works. Now, you wouldn't even be watching this video if you didn't have some idea that Scientology worked, or at least you hoped that it might work. I'm not going to try to get into selling anybody Scientology. I mean, like Ron says, he wouldn't believe it if somebody told him there was a planet that was so stupid that you had to sell Scientology. I mean, they should be tearing down the doors to just get in and find it. So this is for people that do know something about it, or it is intended for people that are not happy particularly with their life condition and feel that it should be changed and that change is possible and they want to do something about it. One thing that I will stress highly in this next clinic here, probably in Moscow, I'm not sure exactly where I'll be, most likely there, is this happiness rundown. Teaching people how to run it, drilling people on it, most importantly, drilling people to find these concepts they can't think with, that doesn't make sense, doesn't add up, and drill people how to find it. One time, several years ago, I tried to teach a data series course in Moscow. Put everybody to sleep. They just all went unconscious except for one guy. He got a lot out of it, but the thing in a data series is you're looking for illogics. You're looking for things that you don't understand. You're looking for things that don't make sense. And when you try to confront these things, they knock you out. They make you unconscious. And to a large degree, this happiness rundown is this way, because you are looking for things that don't make sense, that don't add up, you couldn't think with. And so it's much easier for an auditor just not to see them, actually just go unconscious, trying to find something that is not understandable. See, people, the mind is logical. It tries to find reasons for everything. It tries to find logical reasons for everything. in this particular rundown, you don't care anything that makes sense. There's nothing wrong with that. You want things that don't make sense. So a lot of the training is going to be just on drilling people to find things that don't make sense. One of the things is always that is most important in Scientology is your TRs. I did several Skype sessions here recently on some of my Russian PCs, and also in CSing and trying to help them with some of their PCs. What I find mostly out is TR4. They don't really handle the PC's origination and then get back to asking the same question. They tend to err on the side of Q&A. They start handling the PC's origination and then they go off into la-la land talking their Q&A. The PC says something, you say something, and then you go chasing off what the PC said. Instead of handling the origination and then returning to the process, they just handle forever. And of course, no auditing gets done. So that's the main thing. Or they're far too abrupt. You know, they have a stock. Does it bother you too much to continue? I'll repeat the auditing command. There's no ARC there. There's no understanding what the PC's even saying. It's just waiting for the PC to quit talking and giving the command again. Well, that's far better than Q&A with a PC. I mean, as long as you're running the process and you got a halfway decent comm line, you're not going to ARC break the PC because you're doing something for it. But if you've got a screwy comm line and a bad comm cycle and you're not doing anything for the PC, he's going to ARC break. And this is basically in TR4, handling the PC's origination and then repeating the question. You're not really handling the PC. You just say, okay, fine, thank you for telling me that, let's press on. So always, TRs are very, very important. And now I'll go over TRs. You can always do more TRs. You can always do more TRs, and you know, you become very inventive on ways of how to handle a PC's origination and return him to the session without ARC breaking. It's not hard to do, but sometimes you have to think a little bit. You can't just robotically do it. So one thing is for sure, it's always needed, is helping people with their TRs, drills and TRs. Of course, you know, I might do some meter reading and how to recognize reads and things like this. Basic skills, metering skills, auditing skills, the auditing comm cycle. It's been several years since I've been there, and I'm sure that people are rough. I'm sure that people are rough. If there's demand, I may go over again, you know, what some of the grades processes are, things like this. But these are all basics. What the main thing I'd like to stress this time, as far as tech level, is CSing. CSing, programming, and handling of cases. By far, this is the thing I find out the most. For one thing, they don't have an org, or the form of the org is not held. There may be a few people there being an org, but nobody's really holding their hats. And if in an individual auditor or a small organization, you really, really, really need to have those hats on and hold them on. And again, TR4, you know, you have to handle whatever origination there is in the organization and then wear the hat. Don't get drug off onto something else. And in programming and CSing of cases, usually the auditor is talking to the PC. He's looking at the PC. The PC says blah, 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 and then the auditor goes off and CS's. He violates number one rule of the CS never talks to the PC. He never sees the PC. He only looks at the folder. What was done on the case? Was the process run? Was the process run right? Did he get the expected end result? Very well done. Anything else is a flunk. So you don't see the PC. You only look at what tech was done on that PC, and was the tech done right. And an auditor, when he's talking to the PC, when he's seeing the PC, and then he's trying to CS, he's already violated this thing. The only way to do this as an auditor, as a single auditor, or as a small organization, is that you have to have very strict discipline to discipline yourself not to listen to the PC. Of course, listen to the PC all you want as an auditor, but when that session is over, the only thing that you're looking at was a process run? Was the process run properly? Did it get the expected result? I don't care if the PC said, oh, he's the most wonderful auditor in the world. That doesn't make any difference. Did he say, I can now talk to people? Or whatever the process was being run. So it's basically, again, TR3, TR4. On an admin level, you got to be able to put your hat on and keep your hat on. And one of the things that you have to know, and if you're going to have any success in this, is that the technology works, it's right, it's always right. After you've had 20 years of success with this sort of thing, you just automatically know something didn't happen. PC didn't get better. Something's out with the tech. It's not the tech didn't work. Either the auditor didn't do it, PC didn't do it, or it was something weird. There's no other. It's black and white. If the tech was applied, the correct tech was applied to that PC for where that PC was at, the PC's going to make game. End of story. Finita historia, as they say. So that's one of the things that I want to go over is how to program cases. You already know, most people, most auditors, they already know the tech. They're waiting for a magic bullet to come along, as some class 12 or class billion or something, to give them a magic bullet when they've got all of the materials they need right in front of them. They just won't apply them. Book of Case Remedies. It's a very early book. It tells you there's 4 or 5 different kinds of case. They're either good PCs, they're PTS, they've got some other kind of problems. There's only 3 or 4 kinds of PCs. And your PC is going to hit right in one of those things. And the Book of Case Remedies tells you exactly what to do if PC's doing this. People don't think that, well, my PC's different. There are no strange PCs. They fall into one of these categories, and if you follow those things, then that PC will change his condition. A lot of this is not that people don't know the technology. They know it, they read it, but they don't have a certainty that this technology is correct and it does work. They tend to Q&A. They mange buit. Maybe my TRs are out. Maybe the PC has, an Ingram that I didn't see. Maybe this, maybe that, maybe. This is all flunks. Flunk, 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 flunk. Did the PC get the game? No. Then the tech wasn't applied. No, maybe. No, it was the wrong color PC, or I had a bad day, or my meter was unplugged. The tech was not applied. I don't care what the explanation is. The tech was not applied. That's all there is. That's the only reason that a PC is not going to get any game. Of course, you know, if you're poking him with a knife or something while you're trying to audit him, you're violating tech. You know, you're not auditing him, you're poking him with a knife. So that's one of the things that I will do my best to answer anybody's questions about, is programming a case, how to figure out a case. If you're worried about cracking case, that's very simple. The CS53 has everything that can be wrong with a human mind on that list. The green form is a wonderful tool. It finds all the reasons why a PC is out of session. You know, he's PTS, he's connected to NSP someplace, he's he's continuously committing present time Oberts. You know, he's a spy for somebody. These things on a green form will detect and handle what kind of PC is there, and you just follow the instructions and you get the PC back on the thing and away it goes. A lot of this, we get these PCs, they want OT million, or they want the next super big process to get something handled that's just so terrible that, and they just quickie. Well, they've got a problem that was never handled. Basics were never put in, and they just keep bumping up to the next level. Now you got a guy that thinks he's OT billion, and he has problems. He's not OT billion. He's not even a problems release. But the CS or the auditor listens to the PC. Oh, you did OT3? Well, good. Let's put you on OT4. And never really looks at the PC and sees that the PC is worried. He's worried. Well, what does a worried PC tell you? It tells you that he's got problems. I don't care if he wants OTs 9 and he's at 10 and 11, or it makes no difference. The PC's worried, he's got a problem, then that's what you got to handle. I don't care if he does say he wants you to saw his leg off and make him better. You're not going to saw his leg off. So anyway, these are basics. These are things that, again, is people already know them. They already read them. They've already did them. They just never really did them and didn't Q&A and says this is work and figured out why it wasn't applied. They try to figure out why it didn't work. Or they say, well, that didn't work on that PC, it must be a weird PC. No, that isn't the way you go about it. You run the process looks right, PC looks right, you run the process, nothing happened. Well, the process either was 1, wrong for the PC, or 2, wasn't run. I don't care if the PC's sitting there going, yeah, I did it, Well, what did you do? What did you exactly do? Well, I did the command. Well, how did you do that command? What in the world were you doing? And just bug the PC till he finally tells you, well, you know, I was holding my mouth a certain way, and I was chanting a mantra, Om Madri Pum Kamalanga, and that's how you run Ingrams. He's got some weird idea, or the auditor's got some weird idea that you never invalidate a PC, or you never question the PC's data, or he's not real sure that he already ran it 1 hour and he had a blowdown, so it's over. The auditor doesn't know the tech. He doesn't know that the tech works. It's not so much the matter he doesn't know the technology. He just doesn't know that the tech works. If I can teach you anything, if there's one thing that I could teach anybody, is that the technology works. It works every time. And if it doesn't, it wasn't applied, or you got a PTS or SP PC. There isn't anything else. It wasn't applied, or you got one of the Book of Case Remedies cases. See, it was wrong thing was done, or it wasn't done at all, even though it said it was. So there's questions about this, and it's all in the tech. It's all right there. It's nothing secret. There's nothing mysterious about it. If anything, I have a broad knowledge of the tech, and I can point to this bulletin right here, a basic bulletin that tells you this is what you do. You know, this is TR2. This is how you do TR2. And I don't care if you got 80,000 other bulletins that say whatever you think they say. This is the basic bulletin. Just do that. Don't do anything but that. Knockout additives. Look at keeping Scientology working. So anyway, that's one of the things that I'm going to try to go over is how to program and how to CS and why you program and why you CS. Of course, there'll be some auditors with questions about this or that. Well, you know, this is, you know, either they have false data or they have no data or they have misunderstood. So we'll try to go over anything like that. As I said, I'm going to stress heavily the happiness rundown. And one of the main things that I'll try to do here is case repair. How you get a case that's not doing so well to fly. Very simple. You know, there's only 3 or 4 things. The bulletin says exactly what to do, and if you just do those things, then the PC will fly every time. One of the things that you do not start a major action on a case without it being repaired. If you got case errors, you got auditing errors, you got life errors, you got errors in the case, you can't do anything but fix those errors. It's a mistake to try because you're trying to audit the PC over a present time problem, over unhandled case, over errors. You just make it worse and worse and worse and worse until the PC goes someplace else, and then they do more mistakes over the top of errors. So that's one of the things that I'm gonna go over is how to tell when you got a flying PC. If you got a flying PC, oh, no problem. They just fly. You know, you just apply Scientology and they go zoom. If they're not going zoom, then either Scientology is not applied or there's something bad wrong with the auditor or with the PC. It's pretty much black and white. There's no extra special PCs. I've went over this before many times. So those are the things that I'm going to be doing. Is one, trying to help people with their CSing, with their auditing skills, the TRs, basics. You see, there isn't anything but basics in Scientology. That's the only reason Scientology ever fails is because basics were out. It's not because they didn't know the special commands for the special rundown. No, their TRs were out. You know, the auditing comm cycle was out. These are all very simple things. And, you know, the bank is the same, individual to individual. The PCs are all the same. The processes are the ones that work on everybody. They don't just work on everybody but Joe. Joe is not special at all. So if anything, and particularly in Russia, there's quite a bit of Q&A about I got a special PC or I got a special problem, and everybody wants to be special. You know, that's probably because the history of everybody was just one big lump of worker communist cluster or something. So everybody wants to be special. Well, there is no such thing. And then, of course, I will audit people. If somebody wants some auditing, what I'm going to try to do is train a couple people at least on how to do this happiness rundown and get them some good successes and get some PCs and get the PCs hatted and get them started on a happiness rundown to where they have some big wins and the auditors can see the wins and the PC can see the wins and everybody else can see the wins, and then get this happiness rundown started. it's a complicated rundown. So most of my time is going to be spent trying to get people to understand and do this. The second part is going to be trying to get people to just understand basics better, be able to apply basics more, and resolve cases that are not flying. All cases should be flying. If they're not flying, there are very specific reasons why. There's not very many. If you apply Scientology, the PC will fly. And so it's just a matter of looking over things and trying to find out what didn't make sense, how come this blah blah, and pulling the string, data analysis to find out exactly why that PC didn't fly. Also, there's one thing that I would like to cover is the conditions of existence: non-existence, danger, emergency, affluence, power, and so forth. People need to expand. They need to expand their practices. They need to expand their life. Applying these conditions it works 100% of the time. It works 100% of the time. I'm going to be making quite a few videos. I've made several already. I've got a YouTube channel basically of Welcome to America. I'm showing people how to do stupid things like ride a bus. There's a lot of people want to know stuff like that. How to buy food, how not to get cheated at this, and how to everything. But one of the things that I find is Scientologists know about the condition formulas. They know this and that thing, and they get a little more money and they're in affluence. But how do they actually physically apply in real life those things to real life? So that basically is it, what I will try to cover. That's a lot of area. Happiness Rundown is a huge thing. I could probably spend 3 months there and not have a minute left to spare. But I'm probably only going to be there for a month. So do the best I can with Happiness Rundown. Do the best I can with teaching people, you know, any kind of errors or things that they have in CSing or programming of cases. And one of the very important things is to teach people as best I can, again, of how they can apply these condition formulas to their life, answer questions, give me some examples, show them how the condition formula applied. So that's what this next clinic, the Moscow clinic of 2014, I suppose, is going to be about. Number 1 is Happiness Rundown. Number 2 is case repair and case supervision. And of course, this is all TRs and basic tech. And number 3 is how to find a condition that you're in on whatever dynamic or whatever activity, and know what condition you're in, know the formula, and know how to apply that formula to change that condition to the next higher condition. And also, as what happens if you apply the wrong condition, why do you go down, and how to avoid those kind of mistakes. So anyway, the other video was quite long. I think this is probably about a half an hour. Hopefully this is going to give you some ideas of what to expect in this next Moscow clinic. I would like to see you. I'd like for you to bring your friends, bring your PCs if you can. I'll be auditing people. I give people in Russia very good rates. I'm not asking for American prices. I'm doing something reasonable so people can afford it. As far as I'm concerned, that people get better, and I'm not so much interested in the money that I get, even though I have to have something. But anyway, I do hope that you enjoy this video. I do recommend that you watch the happiness rundown video that I just did. It's quite long, and it's about an hour long, and it has a tremendous amount of tech in it. One of my favorite subjects at this point. And so, and I hope I get to see you, and if you already know you, I'd be glad to see you again. And if I don't know you, well, then I hope we'll become friends, and hopefully somehow we'll all make it go right, and this will be a good year for everyone. So thanks a lot for watching this. I hope it's answered some of your questions, and I hope that you'll come and see me. Bye-bye.